Welcome to this live stream from First Unitarian Church of Des Moines. Our mission is to love radically, grow ethically and spiritually, and serve justly. We invite you to visit our website at www.ucdsm.org. It's a great way to explore all that our church has to offer, from adult programs, to religious education, to social justice work, and more. Today's service will look a little different. We're temporarily holding services in Griffin Hall while we renovate our auditorium. It's a small inconvenience and a welcome sign of our thriving and growing church community. Today's service is about to begin. So now we'll take you inside Griffin Hall.
We have chosen to bring ourselves here to this sanctuary to gather as a community of faith. We join together in solidarity as a covenanted people who are drawn together by the promise of connection and the mysterious pull of the unanswerable. We draw on experiences of love and wonder to lift our hearts and move us beyond the mundane. As seekers, wanderers, appreciators of nature, connoisseurs of curiosity, and creators of connection, our paths have converged today so that we might become present to the spirit that is worship. And so, let us worship together. Please join with me in the chalice lighting words that are in your order of service. This flame is our promise that in our smallness and our short time on this earth, that we live intently and deeply, with love for one another, with honesty and integrity, to be guided by rational thought and critical thinking, and with a sense of shared responsibility. For as the late astronomer Carl Sagan reminded us, this pale blue dot is the only home we've ever known. Okay, here's a little nerd fact for you. You're going to get a lot of nerd facts today. So here's a little nerd fact for you. Did you know that the Vulcan salute has a religious human background? Leonard Nimoy was raised in the Orthodox Jewish tradition in Boston. At shul, religious leaders would form their hands to indicate the first letter of one of the names of the divine, and also to signify blessings, peace, and perfection. Per tradition, he wasn't supposed to look, but he peeked. Nimoy said, "When I saw the split-fingered gesture of these men, I was entranced. I learned to do it simply because it seemed so magical." It was probably 25 years later that I introduced that gesture as a Vulcan greeting in Star Trek, and it has resonated with fans around the world ever since. It gives me great pleasure since it is, after all, a blessing. So let us bless and greet each other. For today's passing of the peace, please join me in the gesture, if you can. And the greeting, live long and prosper, and the response, peace and long life. Please rise as you would like. Feel free to stay seated.
Okay, here we go.
Not really. It was an homage.
Hello? It's not on. Yeah. Please join me in hymn 1064, Blue Boat Home. Though below me I feel no motion, standing on these mountains and plains, far away from the rolling ocean, still my dry land heart can say, I've been sailing all my life now, never harbor or port have I known the wild
Good morning. I'm Louise Alcorn, she, her, your co-celebrant this morning.
And good morning. I am Diane Ford, your other co-celebrant this morning. Welcome all genders, ethnicities, bodies, and stories. Whatever you are carrying with you, whatever you long to set down or pick up today, may you find here the love, support, and encouragement you seek. Our church lies on the ancestral grounds of the Iowa and the Meskwaki people. May we strive to be in right relationship with this land and all who dwell here, both now and for generations to come. A special welcome to those who are new or newish to this community. We have a wonderful coffee hour after the service that we hope you will all join for good food and fellowship. And just a reminder, and please don't forget to mark your calendars, all are welcome to enjoy food and fellowship on August 1, noon to 2 p.m. for our annual church picnic at Raccoon River Park.
Yay, picnic. As Unitarian Universalists, we gather together not bound by a creed, but by the promises we make to one another, which we call covenants. Will you join with me in reading together our congregation's mission statement? We covenant together to advance our mission, to love radically, grow ethically and spiritually, and serve justly. And now Ellen Taylor will share our joys and sorrows.
As she said, my name is Ellen Taylor, your pastoral care associate for this week for the congregation. And we take time to hold this community in love and care. Wherever you are this week, may you find moments of comfort and peace, and remember the pastoral care team is here for you. You can reach us by emailing pastoralcareteam@ucdsm.org, calling or texting our phone number on the well, it isn't on the screen, through the Caring Ministry page on the church's website, by filling out a card and dropping it in the Cares and Concerns box, or by speaking to me or any member of our team. We have one sorrow submitted this week. Sue Repplinger is currently in the hospital after falling and hitting her head. I've talked to her on the phone. She requested that nobody send cards or any kind of other communication pieces for her. So at this point, she sounds like she is going to be doing better as she goes along, and we'll keep you updated. We know that each of you carries both joys and sorrows through the seasons in your life. May you find comfort in knowing your experiences, both light and heavy, are honored here. We know there are people in your lives who could use some extra care and attention. Let's take a moment to speak their names aloud. As we do, may the love and compassion of this community reach us all. And now we light 3 candles, one for the joys and sorrows shared aloud, one for those that are shared in writing, and one for those held silently among us. For all of these, we now observe a minute of silence.
1009, meditation on breathing. We'll sing it twice.
I was so into that, I forgot I had to get up. Good morning. My name is Sally Buckholt. My pronouns are she and hers. I'm here this morning to invite you to attend the Social Justice Imagination Summit next Saturday morning, July 25th, from 9 to 11 a.m. here at church. We're going to be down in the Prairie Room, which is the old large activity room. I'm inviting you to join Reverend Steve and the Social Justice Support Team to explore together our social justice work in the wider community. We'll look at what the congregation's new strategic plan holds in terms of possibilities and focus for our work together outside the walls of this building. We will think together about how our current justice work can be supported by the plan, as well as imagining possible new directions our work might go. Whether you're new to First Unitarian or a longtime member, whether you're deep into social justice work already, or just wondering if there's a place for you in that work, you are invited, and this session's for you. The first step toward a better tomorrow is to have some imagination today. You can RSVP if you'd like at socialjustice@ucdsm.org. And if you have children who will need childcare, we will be offering it, but we need to know by Wednesday the 22nd. So if you have littles and you need help with them, please let us know. I will be out at the showcase table, which is out by the hospitality section after service, and happy to answer any questions and to invite you personally. So hope to see you next Saturday. Thanks.
There is a living web that runs through us to all the universe, linking us each with each and through all life on to the distant stars. Each knows a little corner of the world and lives as if this were his all. We no more see the farther reaches of the threads than we see of the future, yet they're there. Touch but one thread, no matter which, the thoughtful eye may trace to distant lands its firm, continuing strand, yet lose its filaments as they reach out, but find at last it coming back to him from whom it led. We move as in a fog, aware of self, but only dimly conscious of the rest as they are close to us in sight or feeling. New objects loom up for a time, fade in and out. Then sometimes, as we look on unawares, the fog lifts, and then there's the web in shimmering beauty reaching past all horizons. We catch our breath, stretch out our eager hands, and then in comes the fog again, and we go on, feeling a little foolish, doubting what we had seen. The hands were right. The web is real. Our folly is that we so soon forget.
She packed my bags last night pre-flight. 0 hour, 9 a.m. And I'm gonna be high as a kite by then. I miss the earth so much, I miss my wife. It's lonely out in space on such a timeless flight. And I think it's gonna be a long, long time till touchdown brings me round again to find I'm not the man they think I am at all. Oh no, 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 I'm a rocket man burning out a fuse out there alone. And I think it's gonna be a long, long time till touchdown brings me round again to find I'm not the man they think I am at all. Oh no, 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 I'm a rocket man burning out a fuse out there alone. Mars ain't the kind of place you raise your kids. In fact, it's cold as hell, and there's no one there to raise them if you did. And all the science I don't understand, it's just my job 5 days a week. Rocket man, rocket man. And I think it's gonna be a long, long time till touchdown brings me round again to find I'm not the man they think I am at all. Oh no, 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 I'm a rocket man burning out a fuse out there alone. And I think it's gonna be a long, long time. And I think it's gonna be a long, long time. And I think it's gonna be a long, long time. And I think it's gonna be a long, long time.
Thank you, that was wonderful. We have a gratitude board in the back. You can turn around and see it. And each week we pick one gratitude to read before the offering. And I will say that a lot of the gratitudes are quite old and a lot of them have been spoken. So if you have a gratitude for someone in this church, please feel free to fill out a card and put it up and put the date on it so we know it's and your name if you want to. Thank you. This goes to Steve Evans. Thank you, Steve Evans, for taking time out of your day to clean the carpet in the We Worship space. Your efforts to providing a clean space for youth is greatly appreciated. That was back in April, and now we're here, but it's never too late to say thank you, right? We now take up our morning offering as a practice of our generosity, for in giving we receive. was a surprise. Thank you. I love it. Yeah. Mary Oliver, in her poem Evidence, tells us to keep some room in your heart for the unimaginable. Space philosopher and writer Frank White minted the concept of the overview effect more than 40 years ago. It describes the vision of astronauts from many countries and backgrounds who all describe the experience of seeing the Earth in space for the first time and how that changes their understanding of their own lives. There is, in general, a cognitive shift for astronauts who view the Earth from orbit, where they experience an intense realization that all life is interconnected, our parochial concerns are less important, and there is an overriding need to protect our fragile planet. As Frank White puts it, there are no borders or boundaries on our planet except those we create in our minds or through human behaviors. All of the ideas and concepts that divide us when we are on the surface begin to fade from orbit and the moon. The result is a shift in worldview and in identity. Apollo astronaut Edgar Mitchell has a pithy revelation from his experience of the overview effect. You develop an instant global consciousness, a people orientation, and intense dissatisfaction with the state of the world, and a compulsion to do something about it. From out there on the moon, international politics look so petty. You just want to grab a politician by the scruff of the neck and drag him 250,000 miles out and say, "Look at that, you blankety blank." I can't say that word in church. Captain Kirk himself, given the chance for a ride into space in the body of William Shatner, talks about his experience with the overview effect. At the age of 90, I had a life-changing experience. I went to space after decades of playing a science fiction character who was exploring the universe and building connections with many diverse life forms and cultures. I thought I would experience a feeling of deep connection with the immensity around us, a deep call for endless exploration, a call to, indeed, go boldly where no one had gone before. What I felt was totally different. I knew that many before me had experienced a greater sense of care while contemplating our planet from above, because they were struck by the apparent fragility of this suspended blue marble. I felt that too. I realized that we had spent decades, if not centuries, being obsessed with looking away. I played my part in popularizing the idea that space was the final frontier. I had to get to space to understand that Earth is and will remain our only home, and that we have been ravaging it relentlessly, making it uninhabitable. I don't want my grandchildren to simply survive. I want them, as an old friend used to say, to be able to live long and prosper. I will do everything I can so that we can protect our one and only home. Humans have contemplated the vastness of the universe for centuries, but it seems we need that long view, that overview of our entire planet to really understand and protect our own home. And even with that long view in our grasp right now, many are determined to take a short-sighted path. We are in a perpetual state of having to remind our species that everything is connected, because that knowledge is intentionally shoved aside. I believe the overview effect can be seen in additional ways as well. Science is leading the way for us to learn so much more about our own world. Just think how the knowledge of our Earth has changed in my lifetime, maybe in yours, like the fact that birds are actually dinosaurs and the fact that there are mycorrhizal networks, otherwise known as the Wood Wide Web. This is knowledge gained in our lifetime, and again, we are experiencing cognitive shifts in our thinking about how we are interconnected. Recently, my husband and I had the wonderful opportunity with our grandchildren, 6 and 9 years old respectively, to watch the 2023 series called Life on Our Planet. I do admit that promises of ice cream and popcorn were involved, but as it turns out, they weren't technically necessary. In fact, the series is so well done that their parents watched as well. This series explores the emergence of the different types of life over the eons, how and why they evolved and adapted, and how some life survived through 5 mass extinctions. And it explores the status of the current life on Earth, including the science behind the probability of another mass extinction and what the aftermath might entail. There were many, many questions during the program, especially from the 6-year-old as she tried to understand difficult concepts in her own way. This history of life helped me to keep the big picture in mind, put myself in context in an overview effect kind of way, and helped me put my preoccupation with current events in perspective. In 2020, another series, a science-based docufiction series, was released called Alien Worlds, applying Earth's biological, geological, and physical laws to 4 imagined exoplanets, each with distinct ecological characteristics very different from Earth. Scientists, astrobiologists, and researchers collaborated with the creative team using amazing computer-generated images interspersed with footage from real life on Earth to explain the science behind the speculative worlds and the types of life that could live on those worlds. This series is nothing like a typical science fiction film or book. It's more like a fascinating, factual episode of life on a different Earth narrated by a David Attenborough. No mention of interplanetary space travel or interactions with intelligent human-like species. I had a cognitive shift in how to understand other inhabited worlds beyond Earth and the type of everyday life that could be possible. And because it was so visual and based on science as we know it so far, I experienced a sort of overview effect and a feeling of connection with the unimaginable, as Mary Oliver encourages. And this brings me to my own recent spiritual quest to be more involved in this Unitarian Universalist tradition and this community. This tradition that is the embodiment of continually seeking truth and embracing interconnectedness, and to my mind is always in the overview mode. Astronaut Edgar Mitchell and I can't grab every politician by the scruff of their necks and drag them 250,000 miles out and say, look at this, you blankety blanks, but I sure felt like it a couple of years ago. I was in a state of daily anxiety and upset, a lot of it involving my intense anger that we are losing ground in so many social justice and environmental arenas, ground we gained in my lifetime, but becoming more involved in this proactive, always seeking, open to love and to life spiritual community, viewing myself, my children, and grandchildren in its overview mode that puts my individual life in context, making room for hope and joy and connectivity. This has enriched me beyond measure, and I am so grateful.
Hello, my name is Faithiana Leonard. I use any and all pronouns, and I'm going to be talking about space and spirituality today. When I was asked to reflect on spirituality in the universe, I kept coming back to one idea. We explored the science of understanding our universe and how that very exploration can become a source of spirituality. For many people, science and spirituality are seen as opposites. For me, they have always gone hand in hand. The more I learn about the universe through science, the more awe and wonder I feel. Science helps explain how the universe works, but spirituality helps me appreciate what those discoveries mean on a personal level. Together, they encourage me to embrace curiosity, mystery, and the beauty of not having every answer. Ever since I was little, I have been fascinated by space and the stars. I remember looking up at the night sky and wondering what existed beyond what I could see. The sheer vastness of the universe amazed me, and it still does today. There was something comforting about how vast and mysterious the universe was. Learning about galaxies, black holes, and birth of the stars has never made the universe feel less magical. Instead, every scientific discovery deepens my appreciation for how extraordinary it all is. Rather than taking away mystery, science has taught me that there is always more to discover. That has shaped my spirituality by teaching me to have faith in uncertainty and to embrace the unknown, trusting that there is something greater connecting all of us. My spiritual practice draws from several traditions, particularly Unitarian Universalism, Green Witchcraft, and Greek mythology. One of the aspects of Unitarian Universalism that resonates most with me is the encouragement to seek truth wherever it may be found. Rather than asking people to follow one specific path, it embraces curiosity, personal exploration, and respect for many different beliefs. The openness has allowed me to explore spirituality in ways that feel authentic to me. I also use tarot cards and crystals as tools for reflection, mindfulness, and connecting with myself. For me, these practices are not about predicting the future or finding easy solutions. They help me pause, reflect, and recognize the energy and intentions I bring into my life. Greenwich traditions also encourage me to build a relationship with nature, reminding me that the same universe I admire through the stars is also present in forests, rivers, plants, and seasons around me. Whether it's tending to plants, walking through the woods, or simply sitting outside beneath the night sky, I find that nature is one of the clearest paths where I can feel connected to something larger than myself. Greek mythology has always fascinated me because it reflects humanity's earliest attempts to understand the universe. Before telescopes and modern astronomy, people looked to the heavens and created stories to explain what they saw. The constellations became reminders of sacrifice, courage, love, and transformation. The sky became a living storybook that connected humanity with the divine. Gods such as Zeus, Artemis, Selene, and Elos were closely connected to the heavens and celestial bodies, showing how deeply ancient cultures viewed the cosmos as sacred. While science has transformed our understanding of the stars, those stories remind me that people have always searched for meaning in the universe. Today, astronomy gives us facts, while mythology reminds us that wonder has always been part of the human experience. Whenever I have felt lost or uncertain in my life, I find myself returning to the same place, outside beneath the sky. I sit in nature, breathe, and simply talk or listen. Sometimes I ask questions. Sometimes I sit in complete silence. Whether I'm watching the stars or listening to the winds through the trees, I feel connected to something much larger to myself. Looking up reminds me that my problems exist within an unimaginably vast universe. Rather than making me feel insignificant, that perspective brings peace. The universe continues moving, stars continue forming, and life continues growing. There is comfort in knowing that I do not have to understand everything to appreciate it. If something as enormous as the universe can exist with so much beauty and mystery, then perhaps I don't have to have every detail of my own life figured out either. I also have to admit that my love for science fiction has also influenced this perspective. Somewhere between Star Wars, Jurassic Park, and Interstellar, I realized that some of my favorite stories ask the same questions that both science and spirituality explore. Granted, one of those franchises is technically about dinosaurs rather than outer space, but if life finds a way, maybe my argument does too. Star Wars imagines the Force as an energy connecting all living things. Star Wars imagines the Force as energy connecting all of our living things, while Interstellar explores love, sacrifice, time, and humanity's place in the cosmos through real scientific concepts and breathtaking imagination. And while Jurassic Park may be more about dinosaurs than distant galaxies, it reminds us that science is powerful, humbling, and worthy of respect. These stories remind me that curiosity is something to celebrate, whether we are studying fossils, distant planets, or ourselves, and while they are fictional, they encourage the same sense of wonder that has always been at the center of my spirituality. Ultimately, I believe that science and spirituality are not competing ways of understanding the universe, but complementary ones. Science teaches how stars are born, how planets form, and how life evolves. Spirituality helps us reflect on what those discoveries mean for our own lives and how they shape our relationship with the world around us. My appreciation for Unitarian Universalism, tarot, crystals, Greenwich traditions, and Greek mythology always has encouraged me to remain curious, connected, and open to wonder. The more I learn about the universe, the more spiritual I become. Not because I have found all the answers, but because I have learned to appreciate the beauty of the questions. To me, that is where science and spirituality meet, in the shared pursuit of understanding, wonder, and the hope for the unknown.
Once again, I'm Louise Alcorn, she, her. So many years ago, First Unitarian of Des Moines was acting as the neutral pulpit for a newly minted UU minister. So he was around my age at that time, so late 20-something and fresh out of seminary. He was very engaging and funny. I wish I remembered his name. I'd love to know where he ended up. But that day, he decided to give us a snapshot of his spiritual journey. Makes sense for a brand new minister. He revealed that much of his early spiritual thinking was based, in no small part, on the Force from Star Wars. I totally related to this. I knew, I'm Unitarian born and bred, so I knew there was more complex language for the interconnectedness of all things and more nuanced ways to explain one's connection to the earth and each other, but the Force kind of made sense, right? It made sense that a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, humanoids might have figured out that they were all connected by something bigger. The Force, or something like it, also made sense of those few extraordinary times when I had felt through my bare feet the thrum of the earth. So science tells us that this might be magnetic resonance via our bioelectrical bodies. Cool. Faithania's green witchcraft tells us it's our relationship to the earth and things that are living. Cool. I believe they're both right, and they both tell me that the world is connected and wondrous. So another science fiction point of view, I'm a big nerd. So another science fiction point of view, and it was just very popular in my childhood home, was Star Trek. So a vision of the future where Earthlings, having survived the worst of humanity's propensity to division and warfare, chose to approach the universe with open curiosity. This was a moral and ethical framework I recognized from my UU upbringing. To go boldly forward, ask questions, and help. In the very secular humanist UU church of my childhood, I learned to respect science and the scientific process. My father was also a scientist. We also studied the spiritual practices of first peoples and mainstream religions and discussed their importance to human self-understanding. There was often an implicit separation at that time between science and spirituality when we talked about them, between Starfleet and the Force, as it were. It didn't occur to me until later that the space in between these was entirely the point. So in college, I hung out with a lot of science nerds, like a lot. We lived in Holodeck House. I'll just leave it at that. I also took religious studies classes because I realized that my UU childhood had missed a few things I needed to understand American history. So I once sat at a table with a bunch of physics students who were discussing the relative merits of the many worlds interpretation of quantum universe theory. Think parallel worlds. It was fascinating, but it made my head hurt. In the same semester, I sat in my Christian scriptures class, listening to students debate whether transubstantiation is literal or figurative. I got a similar headache, while being simultaneously awestruck that humans are so curious that they spend centuries working this stuff out. To me, it's the curiosity that's important. The exploration and the questioning and the debate, even if it gives me a headache. Y'all sometimes give me a headache. Humans want to know what makes the universe tick and where we exist in the clockwork. Carl Sagan, scientist and philosopher, pointed out that we are literally made of star stuff, the basic building blocks of the universe, but that human curiosity means that we are simultaneously, quote, a way for the universe to know itself. The overview effect, as Diane described, is the result of curiosity and science pushing us out into the universe, only to discover from the outside the wonder and beauty of our current existence. Curiosity is a deep aspect of the human condition. It gets us into all sorts of trouble. I believe science is a tool to ask questions, and spirituality and religion give us frameworks to understand our connections. But ultimately, it's our humanity that brings us back down to earth to appreciate what we have and work to preserve it and each other. So I'm going to leave you with Sagan's words on the outreach effect. It has been said that astronomy is a humbling and character-building experience. There is perhaps no better demonstration of the folly of human conceits than this distant image of our tiny world. To me, it underscores our responsibility to deal more kindly with one another and to preserve and cherish the pale blue dot, the only home we've ever known. Thank you.
Please rise in body or spirit and help sing with me hymn 302, Children of the Human Race.
Please join me in saying the extinguishing chalice words in your order of service. As we extinguish our chalice, may we remember the flame of life in all things, the bright center of our planet, the star that lights our world, and the way those points of brightness connect within us and within all things. May we carry the light. May we share it freely. May we find it everywhere.
Carry the light, share it freely, find it everywhere. Go in peace.
As this live stream from First Unitarian Church comes to an end, remember that previous live streams can be found on our YouTube channel. We'd love to see you in person someday. Until then, thanks for joining us.